are the few tips for number 26. Okay, so this is very technical etude here. Start slow. Don't go faster than you can play it all, putting your fingers in all the right spots, okay? Don't go too fast. Start very slow and work it up, all right? Have a plan for, what tempo you think you're going to, your goal tempo, and work it up nice and slow, all right? There's some mixed articulation in here, so we want to hear some space after the slur when the next note is articulated. So for example, in some place like measure 4, you have. So I'm gonna put some space after the slur before the staccato. All right, so that's just standard articulation style. All right, so just keep that in mind as you go throughout here. Try to lean on in places like measure 3. Try to lean on the first note. Find some anchor notes, and for me, the anchor note is like that first note of each group. So you're going. And sometimes I'll even circle those notes, the first note of each group in my music, just to sort of remind myself that I'm really gonna make sure I press on that. Same thing in measure 7, measure 13, measure 15, any of these spots where something like that. Really feel that first note of each group, okay? It'll help anchor your fingers in there, I think, in the technical passage. In measures 9 and 10, see if you can really bring out the printed dynamics in here. So the printed dynamics are, the top note is on the 2nd 16th of the beat, right? So, right, so you've got this da 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 da. See if you can bring that out in here. I think make that, it'll help make it a little more musical there. But grab onto the top note a little bit. So you got. So each time I'm just trying to grab onto that top note a little bit. Just lean on that top note and then make that diminuendo like it's printed there in the music, okay? Let's see. Come up with a real breathing map for this one. You have to really know where you're going to breathe and practice taking your breaths in the same spot each time. Now, obviously, tempo is going to play a big role here. So depending on what tempo you're going to take different breaths than somebody else is going a different tempo, okay? And that's fine. Whatever tempo you're going, you have to plan your breaths out accordingly, all right? But I think it's important to practice taking those breaths in the same spot every time. Don't leave the breaths to random. You're going to sort of, just play it by ear off the cuff. Know where you're going to breathe. The other thing is that under pressure, what happens to our breath is that it gets a little bit shorter, right? Like you get under pressure, you get in the audition room, and then all of a sudden you feel like your air doesn't last as long as it used to. So, take that into account when you're planning the breaths. Make sure that, you're not planning a breath and you're not going right to the very end of your air, because probably under pressure when you get a little bit nervous, you're not going to make it right there, okay? And you're going to end up having to put in an unplanned breath that you didn't really want to take. So really come up with a breathing map in this one. You can wait to do this until you get it under your fingers, obviously. You want to have it under your fingers and going at a decent tempo. You don't have to be right at your tempo, but you want to have it under your fingers so that you have the notes, and then you can decide where you think the breaths are going to work for you, okay? But start slow with this one, and then work it up very, very slowly and plan out your breaths. Good luck.